Hello, 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 and welcome to Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you exclusive breaking news, breaking the rumor and innuendo, previewing the latest shows, and reviewing them afterwards every Sunday on YouTube and Castbox. I am your host, the Heartbreak Kid, James J. With me, the game, Kaliko Yas.
Boom! Time to play the game. What is good, my people?
And we'll be joined by Scooter Dust and Mitch Mayhem later on. It's a great day for wrestling, however, it is not a great day for Belly fans. Before we started the show last week, I did not watch SmackDown. I watched it actually afterwards, and seeing Bailey kill the Bailey buddies, it broke my heart, honestly.
Really? I saw this coming. I told everybody it's a slow burn. I feel like that Bailey's heel turn was like Usher. Just let it burn. Sometimes you gotta let it fester and just it and when she lost to Charlotte at Hell in a Cell, you just kind of saw it. Because to me, that was the tipping point. Because usually you see Bailey, like when she loses, she beats herself up. But usually she tries to keep it cool. But when she's over there flipping shit and going all off, I'm like, oh yeah, it's coming. Now it's coming. And sure as shit as sugar, it came, and it was great. I loved it. I wish she didn't cut her hair,
No, actually, I
but
like the hell. I like the hell a lot.
I like the hair because it shows off that backside. We love Bailey's backside.
Big
I
Belly,
love Bailey's backside.
big
Booty
bad
Bailey.
booty Belly.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. It's not that. It's just every time I would pop for those Belly buddies. I enjoyed the Belly character, but I get it. She was the innocent child gimmick for a few years, and now she's in her rebellious teenage phase.
Well, she went from I love the kids to fuck them kids. That's basically what happened. Like,
Yeah.
and I couldn't be more proud of her because now she's seeing the light, and that could have been something where I always say like when people are like, oh yeah, just turn heel. I'm like, no, let her deal with it with Sasha. Sasha slowly but surely guides her to where she's like, you know what? You're right. Fuck it. We're just gonna switch it all up. And it worked.
Oh.
And plus they need a heel on that side anyway, because Jesus Christ, it's like 88 faces on
Huh. In other news, the show last week on Twitter was liked by Thunder Rosa from NWA Wrestling, so that's pretty cool. We're getting over.
Getting a little over Thunder Rosa, NWA, shout out. Also, Allison K, AK-47, shout out.
On the show today, we'll be covering week 3 of the Wednesday Night Wars, and we'll have a brief discussion about the NWA Wrestling. But to start us off, we are wrestling with New Japan King of Pro Wrestling. Took place last Monday, and we'll be covering the major matches of the night. One of obviously the biggest story to come out of that show was the John Moxley Juice Robinson match. Who won the match? Lance Archer.
Exactly how we predicted it, right?
Yeah.
You can't get no better than that. Perfect.
Yeah. So briefly, what was your overall enjoyment of the show? What was your thoughts?
Uh, New Japan never fails when it comes to their stories. Um, and you know what's funny is that I was thinking about this show, and I know we're going to get to it, but one of the main things that popped and went viral was when Suzuki beats Liger, but right when Suzuki was about to smack him with the chair, he bows down to him,
Oh yeah,
and
that
shows respect.
was yeah.
And that thing went all over, and I was going with fans, and we were talking about it, and they were like, "How come WWE doesn't do anything like this?" and so on and so forth, and blah blah blah. And the one thing that I explained to them was, and especially, and I think you could attest to it too, is that New Japan, the Japanese audience, views wrestling totally different than how we view it. The audience is not trying to get themselves over. They're not out there yelling, "This is awesome." They're not out there, booing the heels. They're not, you know what I mean? They actually soak in what's going on in the ring, and they actually buy in from Jump Street. They actually cheer for the people that they like to cheer for, unless and every now and then you'll have a situation like with Naito when they don't even cheer him at all at one point, but it's just the viewing experience. And me and you, we were at the Long Beach show, and
Right.
I can say, other than the American fans, I was sitting by most of the hardcore New Japan fans, and they actually were just sitting. They would clap. They everything was on cue with them, because they look at that. They look at wrestling as a art form through pro wrestling. Vice
Right.
in America, I feel like it's lumped with comic books and X-Men and nerdism, if that makes sense.
Kind of, but first of all, you were by the hardcore New Japan fans. I was next to the girl that was screaming Tanahashi, Hashi. So I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, them
But
girls were popping for that.
yeah, he has his fans. So yeah, I agree with you on that point, on that it's a different breed of fans. But when you look at New Japan compared to WWE, WWE doesn't have any real more characters anymore, for maybe except the Fiend. Uh, New Japan still has characters and gimmicks, hey, and it's those characters
That,
and gimmicks that make us kind of care for these guys a little bit more, in my opinion.
true, but I also could say they're more dedicated to factions than characters. With the exception of a couple, like your Naitos, your Okadas.
Evil,
I'm even
Sonatas.
throwing Suzuki in there.
I mean,
But
even
for the
John
most part,
Moxley. John Moxley had a gimmick. He was the Death Rider.
I mean, that was more of a nickname. And his style didn't change as far as his
No,
in-ring stuff.
true.
So it wasn't like his gimmick that got him over. To me, it was more the audience there buys in and actually suspend disbelief, and they're not pissed when something doesn't go their way. You see what I'm saying? They may be mad about it, but they let it play out in the long run,
Right.
which, unlike how America, the Fiend doesn't win, we're all on Twitter fucking fuck this
Boycott, boycott.
bullshit, blah 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 blah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
And
that's how I look at it. But
yeah. So my enjoyment of the show, I thought it wasn't a bad show. I thought it was a good show, but there wasn't a lot of surprises or unexpected moments. Like last year at King of Pro Wrestling, Jay White became the leader of Bullet Club. Um, we got Shingo Takagi. 2 years prior to that, Roppongi 3K came. So no real big significance. But other than that, if you just sort of see it as the show as a whole, not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, but I could see why they weren't going to go that route because the main thing that they were wanting to do with this show this year is to get it to Wrestle Kingdom, and it didn't help that Mox couldn't make it because of the
Right.
trip. So that just flipped the whole audible because we didn't know. Like Lance Archer was a last minute replacement, but we didn't know what was going to happen with that. You know what I mean?
And
Like Lance Archer could have became a contender and won at Wrestle Kingdom, vice having to win it now. You see what I'm saying? So that kind of threw some of the stuff that they planned out the window.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's start with our first match, or the main card. Gypsum Thunder Liger lost to Minoru Suzuki. I should say, Battle Liger lost to Minoru Suzuki in 17 minutes and 36 seconds with a God style pile driver. And this just shows you that two guys that are in their 50s could still have a match that tears the house down and get the people invested into the story that they're telling.
True. It also helps that Liger is retiring, so it gives people a reason to care. You see, and Suzuki was just more or less like, I want to beat the hell out of you before you get out the door. But it was a hard hit match. They, of course, the usual Suzuki match that you're used to. Like I said, the one thing that was the most surprising was when, like, he showed the respect to Liger after the match. It kind of reminded me of I think it was the G1, and it was when Bad Luck Fale fought I forgot his name, and it was Nagata, right? So when he fought Nagata, and even though he beat Nagata, he still showed the respect.
Right.
And you see what I'm saying? So it kind of and that was crazy to start like that with a tearjerker like that because it, you know what I mean? You're expecting them to like
does that, and Suzuki just don't do that.
Right, like that's totally out of the realm. You know, it's kind of like him and like I said, like him and Fale. They were kind of like the last two people you would see show respect to anybody, and the fact that he did it was like it was a viral moment here because that clip was being shown all throughout the week, and
happens.
Yeah, it never happens. Also, Suzuki coming to he's gonna be in Long Beach in LA. So we might have to go see that's Suzuki Liger. Liger's gonna be in LA and Long Beach. I might have to like catch his last match, you know. It's at least in the States.
Yeah, it is his last match. And you know, Liger, he's pulling out, he's going deep into his closet. You know, we've gotten Kishan Liger, Battle Liger, soon we're gonna get Gypsy Liger, Battle Cat Liger, Ricky Liger, Nick Liger. So he still has a couple months.
There's only one Liger that I'm missing. And I have it's Red Shoes. I swear Red Shoes is Liger and Liger is Red Shoes. I've never seen them two together. Red Shoes is Liger and Liger is Red Shoes, as far as I'm concerned.
Damn.
If anybody can show me a picture of both of them together, Liger and Red Shoes, I'll stop it. But I've never seen anybody with them together.
Well, if somebody could actually has that photo, could they please tweet it to Kaliko?
Yeah, because I swear to God, like it, because when we went to the first show, I was like, how come we never see Red Shoes and Liger together in a match? So my thing
Because
is,
I always just assumed it's because Lager never has a match in the last three matches of pay preview or any show. But maybe you're onto something.
yeah, I've been on that for like 4 years, and I've yet to see someone show me a picture of both of them together.
Well, we will keep on this story. All right. Next match.
Yeah,
Well,
see, that's the real story. That's the real story.
our next match, Will Ospreay defeated El Phantasmo in 27 minutes and 56 seconds with a Stormbreaker. Really good match. Just I thought about this, and Will Ospreay is the only guy that New Japan got in that junior division as of now. Kushida left, Hiromu's gone, Marty doesn't come to New Japan anymore apparently. So they're stuck with Osprey at this point.
And he's there, I guess, to make other stars. I mean, uh, we're still waiting on not Takahashi, but
Hiromu.
Hiromu. We're still waiting on Hiromu to see how that's going to happen. But yeah, he's basically the division, which goes to show, like, I guess they're gonna keep him there for a hot minute to get other wrestlers to, give them the little rub of being in a match with him. I mean, he likes being in New Japan. He loves Japan. He loves being there. So why not use him to the best of his abilities? It was a really good match. Him and Phantasmo, he made a star out of Phantasmo. So and that says a lot for a guy who's hated in the States, known as Will Ospreay.
Right. And you brought him up already. Hiromu Takahashi. If he wasn't going to come back at this show, since G1 Supercard in the United States last year, I was like, okay, he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna come back at this show. He's gonna come back at this show. He's gonna come back at Wrestle Kingdom. He's gonna come back at Sakura Genesis, and not he's come back at none of those shows. I thought this was his last opportunity, and I don't think he's coming back, honestly.
I mean, there's always a chance for Wrestle Kingdom to be the. If he doesn't come back at this Wrestle Kingdom, then I can give you that, because remember they waited on Kenta's buddy, and he didn't show up until like when he was ready. They try to get that surprising comeback, and I think they're saving all their guns for Wrestle Kingdom, because
Well,
to me, over the last, I want to say 4 or 5 years, Wrestle Kingdom has gained this worldwide, well, at least in the States, a buzz that is equivalent to like a WrestleMania.
oh yeah, they've gotten those that traction. Whether it been Chris Jericho,
Yeah.
or or maybe even a Moxley at this point. We don't know. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I
I
think
would say it started with Kenny, but
Kenny Okada. Yeah, you're right. But I think at this point, people are just gonna be happy to see him. They're gonna pop anyway. We love ourselves some Time Bomb.
I know, man. We're missing the cat too.
Oh, Daryl, yeah.
You
Well, he's
gotta bring
starting a
back
family.
Daryl.
He's spending time with his family.
Maybe him and Daryl him and Daryl are just making it slow.
Yeah. I really hope that he does come back sometime in the future, but as of right now, it's looking a little bleak in my opinion.
True. But one thing we can always do is just hope for the best. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. I really like his style. I loved his matches. He was a nice little guy. He was a high flyer. He could get technical. He could brawl with you. And that would be a major boost to the light heavyweight division, because it gives him another credible star to run with. As far as and even if he's not in the championship picture, even as a gatekeeper, you know what I mean? For people to get to the championship, that would be a great thing.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
And we have Road Dogg Mitch Mayhem joining us. Yes, and hopefully we'll get Scooter Dust on in a moment. And
what up, Mitch?
What's up, Coleco?
How are you, Mitch Mayhem?
Just hanging in there, having a decent night. Oh my God, SmackDown was boring as shit. Scooter was about to end it early. It was really bad.
Yeah, I've been kind of giving up on SmackDown myself. We are talking about New Japan King of Pro Wrestling, and I think you came in at a really good time.
I got the news about New Japan buying Bushi Road, Bushi Road, excuse me, buying Stardom, the women's pro wrestling, the Yoshi Wrestling Federation, like the #1 Yoshi women's wrestling, Joshi Wrestling, yeah. They're the #1 in Japan, and it's big because I heard that the big wigs in New Japan Pro Wrestling, they saw WrestleMania 35, and that's their reaction to WrestleMania 35 is by bringing in Stardom and creating a new women's division in New Japan. So,
well, that's going to be interesting.
Yep.
Well, look, I'm definitely going to be interested in.
I got a message at 2 a.m. in the morning on the night it happened.
Yeah, because it's daytime there.
Yeah.
Alright, that brings us to our next match. Lance Archer defeated Juice Robinson for the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship in 14 minutes and 58 seconds with the Everybody Dies Claw.
Just like how we called
it. Hey, and
I know about this a little bit. It was originally John Moxley versus Juice Robinson. Right? Yeah. And they were going to have Juice take the title because Moxley was on his way out one way or the other. I don't think he's going to be at Wrestle Kingdom because the contract he signed, what happened with anyone who signed a contract with AEW, they have to basically wrap up their independent wrestling contracts. They can't sign new ones. So after the ones they have already, they become exclusive after they run out. So, so Moxley was running out. He was just finishing up, and I guess they wanted to switch it up at the last minute because they figured people would figure that Juice would, win the title. So they just did a last minute swerve. Yeah.
John Moxley was not able to be a part of the paid preview because the typhoon hit Japan, and a lot of wrestlers wasn't able to make it to the show.
Yeah, that typhoon. Yeah, and I had some guys that were stationed in Okinawa for them too. So I kind of get the whole travel thing. So.
Before I continue, we are joined by Scooter Dust, badass Scooter Dust.
Yes, that is right. I am good. For the most part, they
It's been a long night, right?
It has been a long night. It has been a I don't know, but Kaliko is gonna be happier than a pig in shit.
Okay.
By the way, I've come to the conclusion that Kaliko hates me because he unfollowed me on Twitter.
He did?
Wait a minute. Did I?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a
I have a list of everybody.
Now
that
about-
You know what? He does that without knowing because I've been trying to get a hold of him on Twitter for a year now, it seems. And
Yeah.
I can never get a hold of him.
Now,
I don't have your email or nothing like that. I still haven't gotten it.
No.
Your audio
have
is
to
flicking
find
in and out.
this.
We can't hear you, Kaliko.
Give him a
Because
minute.
Oh, it's all good.
No, your
It
audio,
don't even
your
matter.
audio
I'm
is
not-
messing up.
Because I got you on Facebook and I've been
Yeah.
fucking all your shit. So
That is true.
How about
That is
me?
true.
Add me as a friend, Kaliko, so I can talk to you on Facebook because I can't get a hold of you through Twitter.
No.
Oh yeah, because Twitter. You know what? And this is going to be the darkest turn it's going to take in this thing. The hottest thing that was on Twitter was about a guy named Pastor Wilson, and that's all I'm going to say. Just look up Pastor Wilson, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But
No. Oh, Mitch, you want to tell him?
What?
You want to tell him about the hottest thing on Twitter that we were talking about?
Oh, God, go ahead. You go ahead. I don't even want to talk about.
Jessica Yaniv.
It gives me mind cancer just thinking about it, dude.
what?
Who is that?
Trust me, you'd be doing yourself a favor if you didn't look into it.
Okay.
It's
yeah.
stupidity, man.
Yeah.
It's utter stupidity.
It's for that's an after show thing.
Yeah.
Well, what's going on with you? What's going on with you on Twitter? Because I saw you calling out Corey Graves.
Oh,
No,
yes.
he's not calling him out. Go ahead, sorry.
Yes, the campaign begins
It's a
because
campaign.
the time has come to make Corey Graves pay attention and get the WWE to notice the remix and the unique show that it is, and to get me on the WWE podcast network. So it's a call to arms en masse for the remixologists and the Dust Bunnies to tweet Corey Graves, tweet the WWE with the hashtags "I dare you Graves" or "I dare you Corey" or "I dare you whoever," and the hashtag Holy Grail Ponytail, because I ain't gonna stop until Corey Graves pays attention to me.
And I already followed suit by doing that, so I already did put that tweet out.
Man, I just followed you back on. I didn't even know I unfollowed you, but I just followed you back. So
Yeah, I did. Yeah, no, and I just approved it because I go through a cleaning of the followers.
I should
That means
clean mine. Yeah, I need to clean mine bad.
All right,
'Cause
so
when I- Yeah, okay, let's move on.
Kaliko, Scooter, we're all made up. We're best friends. Nobody hates each other anymore.
But I said, but the reason I said Kaliko was going to be happier than a pig in shit is because of something that happened tonight.
I was waiting for you to
SmackDown.
say what. Yeah.
Your favorite gimmick returned.
oh man, see now I'm gonna have to.
What is it? What is it, Kaliko? You know what it is.
Hey, you know what? We've been talking about New Japan, and
What is
I'm not there yet.
gimmick? Wait. What's one of your favorite gimmicks that you bring up on the show all the time?
My PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
yes. I knew when he lost the title, it was coming home. Come on home, baby. Come on home.
It's back!
The gimmick
Like a bad
continues.
herpes case, it's back.
We thought it was dead, but it's alive. It's alive.
Alright, let's get this call back on the freeway. The directions we're supposed to go.
It's a wreck.
Oh God, I think the remix. What happened to the remix tonight is spreading, Mitch.
Right? Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's get back on track here.
Alright,
Venereal disease of the internet.
Yeah, when I heard that Rancho Archer was going to take this match, I was not invested. I was pissed off. It was like, it's just a squat. It's basically, what's your favorite fruit? And Juice is going to beat him.
It's a
Not the case.
But they threw a swerve at you.
It was a swerve, bro. And I was like, oh
sure,
shit.
But you know, it's like It's like giving Bob Backlund the WWE title in 1994. It was just like an act of appreciation.
Yeah, it's more like a appreciation title. Yeah, like a trophy.
Well, it's appreciated.
I mean,
yeah, Kaliko.
For all of his years of service.
after that G1, man, he looked good in G1.
Well, I think it's appreciated that, you know, they're not doing what is predictable. Because usually when somebody's not able to compete, they just throw any ham and egg in the match to lose. So to see that they're actually making an effort to change that and actually put on a decent match, it shows me that they're listening to the fans.
And I think everyone in their I think everyone in their mom thought that Juice was going to win when they heard that Jon Moxley couldn't make it. So I think it was the right thing to do.
Well, I think that people were going to thought were going to think he was going to win, whether it was Mox or not. But I think it was meant to make an inroad in the United States and give their, you know what I mean?
I knew a lot of people who thought Mox would win that didn't know that he was wrapping up in New Japan.
So after
the whole reason he came was to just...
I'm just saying. Yeah.
After the match, David Finlay made a surprise return, and he actually looks like $1 million now. He don't have that muffin top anymore. He actually has a 2.5 pack.
He doesn't look like a homeless Red Hot Chili Pepper?
Well, what could you compare it to? Because the Red Hot Chili Peppers do look homeless.
Most rock stars do.
Yeah, but you like even the...
And they're like the richest, some of the richest people in the world. Isn't that funny? It's just funny the way it works.
So, I think you'll be able to answer this question for me, Max.
It's hard to hear you right now, man. Hold on.
It's okay. I was hoping you could answer this question. Jon Moxley, where does he go from here? Does he get another match in New Japan to make up, or is he done with New Japan?
Like I said, he's finished in New Japan. His contract has him. He can only do AEW, like strictly AEW now. He can't sign a new contract with another organization. He has the stuff that already existed as he signed has to wrap up, and then he can't sign anything new. He's just AEW.
But does that contract for New Japan, does that make him have at least one more match to make up for not showing up, or is he completely done?
I think his contract was on a per appearance situation, honestly. So, and honestly, regardless, I think this was just weird timing because regardless, this was going to be his last match, is what I heard.
Yeah, it made sense because he was just there to put, to me, I thought he was there.
He wasn't going to, no, he's not going to, as far as I know, unless something changes, it's not planned for him to go to Wrestle Kingdom because they're going to be using him almost every week on AEW television.
But he owes New Japan another match, and no,
not necessarily, because they might not have just paid. they just might not have paid him for that performance, and so they're even. You know, who knows? I'm sure they got it figured out.
Either way, Jon Moxley doesn't seem like the kind of guy to not do the job. I think
I promise you, there was nothing more to it than he just was in a storm.
No, I mean
he wasn't trying to duck the job.
No, what I'm trying to say is, if he's actually able to, he would come back to New Japan to do that one match to put Juice over. Is what I'm trying to say.
But why? Because listen, James. He already did his New Japan stint of being a warrior on the road. He's got a contract that he has to uphold with AEW. Don't you think it would be wrong and unprofessional for him not to make sure he doesn't get injured for AEW, the company that he signed with, so that he's healthy and ready to go when they need him? Don't you think it's smarter to do that instead of spread yourself too thin?
I think it makes him look bad that he had a match with Juice Robinson that he wasn't able to be a part of.
But it was not his fault, James. It was against his, like, his hands were tied.
But I get that.
And hear me out. I'm not done. I'm sure in the future, like maybe next year, I'm sure he will come back for a performance. But as of now, AEW, the company that paid him an assload of money, needs him. And being professional, you need to be ready when the company that gave you all that damn money needs you to be ready. It's like it's just as if he was under WWE contract. It's that kind of professionalism. You got to be ready.
The professionalism is.
I get Mitch's point. I get it because it's beyond his control. Like I think they would watch it because it's something that's beyond the control of either
it's
company.
Not his
it's not
fault.
Like
if it was something that he ducked, then I could totally understand where you're coming from. But it's not something that he even wanted.
What I'm trying to say is, forget about the match at King of Pro Wrestling. It was out of his hands. I'm talking about he didn't do the match he was supposed to. So come at either the Destruction Tour or Wrestle Kingdom and have that last match you were supposed to have. That's all I'm saying. I think
I get what you're saying. I'm just
Juice Robinson.
I get where you're coming from. I'm just telling you, it's nothing. I don't think it's anything like that. And he probably will show back up in a year or so. But as of right now, the company that gave him a lot of money needs him to be healthy.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. It's beyond troll, and he can't really do anything about it.
Right now.
Yeah, it shows two Calicos right now.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Dos Calicos.
That's
Drink responsibly.
That means I'm dope. That just means I'm twice as dope.
That sounds like a new Lucha Libre tag team. Dos Calicos!
This show brought to you by beer.
Hey, Los Calicos. That sounds like a faction. I swear to God. That's like a AAA faction. Hey, Los Calicos.
Yeah. Well, I can never pronounce the faction that Naito's with. What is it again?
Los
Ingobernables.
Yeah, it's that. It's like that.
Los Ingobernables de Japón.
There you go. It's exactly what you said.
All right. Next match, Kota Ibushi defeated Evil in 24 minutes and 5 seconds.
I called it.
With the Kamigoye. There was no doubt that this wasn't gonna happen. So yeah.
I thought you were rooting for Evil.
No.
Nah, we kind of know Ibushi was gonna be the guy.
But I could have sworn that James picked Evil to win.
No, I picked Moxley to win. I knew Kota.
Yeah,
between Evil and Ibushi.
Yeah, no, I knew that Kota Ibushi was gonna win.
Okay, I could have sworn one of you said Evil. Okay.
All right, and the last match of the night. Kazuchika Okada, in his fourth defense, defeated Sanada in 36 minutes and 21 seconds with a Rainmaker. And that is your Wrestle Kingdom main event, Kazuchika Okada versus Kota Ibushi.
Pretty much. You kind of saw it coming.
Right.
Yeah, we knew. I saw this coming for a year. I don't think anyone is surprised.
Yeah, and a lot of tears at the end of King of Pro Wrestling. Sonata was crying. Juice was crying.
Those Japanese are very emotional people.
I mean, Sonata's
They
crying
can
because
be.
that was probably his last shot at the spotlight.
When they put their walls down and give up that show of being straightforward and everything, that wall they put up, that their emotions, they have some pretty thick emotions.
I think it shows. Them some character development, and that.
Hello. Can't hear anybody.
We're here.
I think
Scooter,
it shows that they
can you hear?
care. That they actually
Scooter?
care. That's to
Yeah.
me.
Can you hear us, Scooter?
Scooter's having audio problems, guys.
Oh no.
I'm just letting you know. I'm trying to help him.
Yeah. So yeah, and Juice Robinson had the biggest reason to cry. He was supposed to win the United States Championship, and they decided to swerve. So yeah, we'll see how all this plays out.
Yeah, but that also gives Lance Archer the, because you remember in the G1 they were pushing him as like this monster guy, so it kind of gives him a chance to shine. So that's a good thing.
Right. So that is our coverage of New Japan King of Pro Wrestling. Scooter?
There we go. Something happened. My audio just, you could hear me, I couldn't hear you. I don't know what happened.
You're cool. So
It happens.
That concludes our coverage. So we'll be covering the Destruction Tour later on in the month. Now we are wrestling with NWA Wrestling on YouTube.
Yeah.
NWA Powerrr. And honestly, me and Kaliko was talking about this off air. This is the easiest wrestling show to watch ever.
Yeah, it's a throwback.
Well, no, because it's only an hour.
No, I mean it's a throw, but it's also it's like something that a lot of people remember. It's a format that's easy to go with, and because it's been done before, and it feels like a comfortable. Yeah, it's comfortable. It's hard to explain, but yeah, it just harkens back to the 1980s golden age of wrestling, with how NWA and Crockett had it going with studio wrestling. So it just brings, for people who grew up in that era, it just brings back a special nostalgic feel.
What about you, Scooter? Did you watch it? I know that
I unfortunately did not. I didn't realize it was available on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I think that's basically the main. I think it's only on YouTube.
Yeah. And
it's through there or Facebook. It's you
Right.
can either do it Facebook Live or YouTube.
Media, social media.
Yeah, either way, it's social media.
Yeah, and
Yeah, like you're saying.
AEW is going 100 miles an hour. NXT is going 100 miles an hour. Raw and SmackDown are going 0 miles per hour. And
actually, I think NXT is losing a step or two, but that's just me, I guess.
Well, but my point is that NWA isn't trying to do something outlandish, different. They're doing them. And they're doing what works for them. They're not trying to compete with anybody. They're trying to build their company. And I think that they're doing a really good job at building up a fan base, honestly.
Yeah. Right. Like I said, it's hearkening. It's just a throwback. So it's going back to something people enjoy, and people have been yearning for that kind of style, like studio wrestling, to come back in that way for a long time. So,
we got a like on Twitter from Thunder Rosa, who's an NWA star.
Oh, alert the presses!
Don't you shit on Thunder Rosa.
No, I'm just saying we shouldn't be that big of a deal. We should be used to getting likes. We need to build on that, man.
Yeah, but after all the hate we get, it's nice to have an actual wife.
You did stoke a little bit of that up yourself. I'm just saying.
I think we're maybe just a step above Katie Forbes.
Oh, wait a minute. Don't talk about Katie Forbes. That is the greatest wrestling entrance in history, yo.
Katie Forbes.
I mean, come on, to see a stink face countered with a wedgie?
Ooh.
I don't care about her wrestling style, but the entrance is the greatest ever. I don't.
By the way, I saw that, Scooter. I went and looked at that.
So, yeah. We got Colt Cabana, Mr. Anderson on the show.
Boom, boom, Cabana.
We got Alyssa Kay.
Allison K, AK-47.
Alyssa.
Hey, she's the women's champ, so she's got to carry that division.
She's been around for a while, actually, too.
Yeah, she's been around for a while.
And, we talked about the AEW championship being small. The NWA Women's Championship is a wristwatch, honestly.
But no, I still think the AEW Women's title is the smallest around. I think it's smaller. Because it has to fit Rio, and Rio is basically like a walking dust particle.
Yeah. So, to Allison Kay, I think she's actually an underrated wrestler, considering that she doesn't have a lot of talent to work with.
How can you be underrated and be the champion?
Well,
I don't think she's underrated.
I mean, granted, she was supposed to wrestle Jazz for that title, and Jazz somehow, it was like she pulled out at the last minute.
I mean, yeah, she's be underrated if you won a title. I mean, you can be, but not to you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah, but she's not. It's not to the point where because I could say her biggest. She's probably more known being in the Mae Young Classic than being the NWA champion.
Right.
Real quick, speaking of that, it sounds like the next Mae Young Classic is going to be canceled if it hasn't already been.
I mean, I don't think they have the depth.
Well, no, they bought so many other companies and other wrestlers around the world. Yeah, they do. They have too much depth, in fact.
Well, what I'm saying is, yeah, she has a belt, but it means nothing if you don't defend it against quality talent and actually bring up that belt to a standard where they compare you to a Becky Lynch or a Bayley, is what I'm trying to get to.
But you don't always have to be compared to someone to succeed. Sometimes it's best being the first you.
Well, I'm not saying...
And doing your own thing and carving your own road. You know what I mean? But I get where you're coming from. I'm just saying there's other ways to go about it and other,
when you say, who's the World Heavyweight Champion? Who do you say, Mitch?
Well, there's a lot of champions. Which one?
Well, who's the first champion you think of? Who do you think?
Lynch.
Becky Lynch. Well, I think Kazuchika Okada.
Well, I thought you were talking about women's championship. Okay. Well, you mean just broadly? That's so broad of a thing because there's so many champions.
Yeah. You can't...
if you're talking about, because there's no dominant WWE male champion, I would have to say Becky Lynch right now.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that Kazuchika Okada is the World Heavyweight Champion because he's had the best defenses, the best matches, the best everything.
Here's the thing, though. But you can be the best in the world and be stuck in a corner where no one sees you that much. The American fans don't know him as much as... That's true, because... Japan.
And I'll give you an example. After Okada defended the title at the first... Long Beach show in America, that dude literally was walking down the street to a hotel and nobody knew who he was except me and my friend.
No, dude, I'm telling you,
literally,
people like us, like diehards, would even know if we saw any of those Japanese wrestlers on the street. I promise you.
And I would say Mitch would be right with Becky Lynch because she's probably the most mainstream champion as far as wrestling.
Yeah, and she's the most consistent.
That too.
So back to NWA. The wild cards Thomas Latimer and Royce Isaac wrestled the Outlaws, Eddie Kingston and Homicide. Eddie Kingston, how is this guy was never in WWE?
He was.
He's just one of those people who had a deal and never got used right.
Yeah,
like
slipped through the cracks.
He was in developmental hell.
Yeah, so many people. Kaz was one of he signed and got misused. So many people.
Yep, Kaz, Omega, the list goes on.
All of them. It seems like all of them, maybe. Like quite a few, yeah.
And
I mean, other than the Young Bucks, because they kind of did their thing, but
Luchasaurus,
yeah, they had a gang of people. So.
Yeah, but Eddie Kingston, such a great talker. I think he's one of the best talkers out there, and
I've seen him live. Like I didn't I didn't wrestle with him or nothing like that, but I've seen him wrestle live, and when I was wrestling, he came through the territory, and he's an OG. Like he's one of those old schoolers. He's been around for a long time. So I'm honestly shocked he hasn't gotten to like really big heights in wrestling. But sometimes there's been Colt Cabana. There's been so many people who've slipped through the cracks because of the corporate mismanagement that is the style of WWE sometimes.
I wouldn't even say corporate mismanagement. I would just say more like only so many people could get to the top, and you're gonna have a good amount of talent that slips through. So
and a lot of times Vince honestly decides about really petty shit. Like he'll decide, like, oh, this guy can't do a southern accent, or this I don't like how this guy smells, or like really, it's something really petty like that, and he'll make a split decision on someone. Like perfect example, Cedric Alexander. He loved Cedric Alexander at first, and then he woke up on the wrong side of the bed or something, and all of a sudden wanted to squash him. So, I mean, it just depends on Vince's mood, I guess.
Right. And that takes us to our last segment.
It shouldn't be like that, though, where everything's beholden that one man's mood. A cranky old man's mood. But anyways, I digress.
Nick Aldis did an interview talking about his matches as of late, and his insurance policy. What's her name again?
I know her name. It's not on the top of my head. I can't come up with the name on the spot.
I know it starts with a K. I think it's Carmian.
K. It's something K. No, her last name is K.
Cammy?
No, it's something K. Her last name is K. Her wrestling last name. I think she was like.
No.
It's Camille Kane.
Camille.
Camilla
Kane. Camille.
Camilla Kane.
Kane.
Yeah.
Camilla Kane.
Kane, like Kaine?
Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say she related to Glenn Jacobs, but okay.
Well, it's K-A, like I said, Kaine.
It's a joke.
Yeah, I know. Dude, it's called deadpan. When I respond to your joke, was like taking the piss out of you, and then it's funny how you respond.
I need the piss taken out of me, Mitch.
Everyone needs the piss taken out of them sometimes.
Hey, I've had kidney stones since I was 8 years old. So. I was about to say, you're responding to his joke with piss?
That's the British people. That's the British people.
I know. I didn't know we were going R. Kelly up in here. You know?
Well, at least R. Kelly could sing.
That is true. At least he could sing.
Alright, obviously there's a rivalry, maybe something going on with Aldis and Camille, and we'll see where that goes. It's good to see NWA wrestling. It's honestly the easiest thing to watch right now on pro wrestling.
And
that you ain't lying. It's a quick watch.
You know what?
And it's not. And it's totally out of your way. Not even like, boom, you're done. Like 20, 30 minutes, you're done.
Okay, but is it just me, or is a lot of the big names and this is not a bad thing at all, but aren't a lot of the big names in NWA, the new NWA, basically like 2010 and 2012, 2013 Impact roster with Eli Drake, James Storm, Magnus, like, yeah. So it's just a lot of the old Impact stars, and I knew if they went to the proper, federation, that's that they'd be stars.
By the way, Eli Drake did most of the motion capping for WWE 2K20.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's an independent contract, like outside of anything.
Oh, okay.
Him and Santana Garrett.
It has nothing. I don't think it has a. Like,
All right, so we'll be following NWA a lot more as in the future.
oh, Santana Garrett.
We are now wrestling with. Wednesday night was week 3. All right, Kaliko, how did you watch NXT and AEW this week?
Unfortunately, I had a midterm, so I had to come home and like stay up late and watch one and then watch the other. So I watched AEW first, and I gave NXT the last part just to see how it worked out.
What about you, Mitch?
I watched it live with Scooter on his show, The Remix.
Watched what?
NXT. Oh, not NXT. I'm an idiot. AEW. I didn't watch NXT.
And Scooter?
I devoted the first hour to NXT and the second hour to AEW.
On the Remix. So, and what are you doing next week on the Remix?
It looks like I am doing AEW first and then NXT.
Nice.
And then after the week after that, you should really mix it up and do Dancing with the Stars. And then your voice.
Excuse me while I throw up.
Well, I used to do, Big Brother, The Amazing Race.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
really?
I did Big Brother with him for a few times. Yeah.
I was part of the Big Brother Exit Press for a number of years. I got to interview the house guests as they were evicted.
Really?
Yeah, you did.
How did you not want to kill yourself after doing that?
A lot of my interviews are still up on SoundCloud.
All right.
I got invited to someone's wedding.
Who?
Whitney's wedding, because
Oh shit.
because we had for one show this was when the sisters were on, Morgan and Alex Whitney.
Which season was this? A few years back?
Yeah, this was the was this Over the Top? Yeah, it was Over the Top.
Yeah, a few years back, a year or two.
And the fact it was Over the Top, the season that Jason won.
Yeah.
We had 2 boyfriends of house guests on the show at the same time.
Wow.
Please tell me a fight broke out. Just to...
No.
Damn.
But they invited me and my co-host at the time out to Kentucky for their upcoming wedding.
It's amazing how we talk about wrestling and then we get sidetracked to Big Brother weddings.
Well, it was about this show. His show.
That's I love that.
Hey, I had an interview with Luchasaurus before he became Luchasaurus.
Yeah. We followed him on Big Brother. Yeah.
All right. So.
The more you know.
Dun dun dun.
So, Kaliko, you watched both shows. Which one did you think was better?
This week, I would say AEW. I would give AEW the rub because as much as I like NXT and how their action, the issue is with the production and how AEW looks like you're a part of something bigger than yourself. You see what I'm saying? And the fact that and the fact that they have the advantage, and they have the advantage of going to different cities and getting different crowds, and it's going to be very hard for NXT to like gin up the same crowd every week to match a totally different group of crowds every week. So
now, Mitch, how did I open the show?
What do you mean? Be more specific.
What did I say about the NXT crowd?
Basically, like dead.
No, that's not what I said.
Didn't you?
I said
What'd you say?
they were there. All right, the NXT crowd who's been there since last week. None of them have showered.
Oh well,
they've literally all been there for a week.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I saw that guy last week.
All right, I'm not gonna ask you the same question, Mitch, because you didn't watch NXT. But what about you, Scooter? What did you think was the better show?
By the way,
well, I saw the reviews. I just didn't watch it live.
Excuse me, is your name
So
Scooter?
I've seen it. I've seen what happened.
All right. Well, I asked Scooter first, so we'll come back to you.
It don't matter. I don't want to tell you now.
That'll save us about an hour.
Oh, very funny.
The fact that there was another change to friggin' Dijakovic. Now he's Dominic.
Right.
Dijakovic. Last week.
Oh yeah, the Djokovic versus Keith Lee match.
Yeah, he was Donovan.
Dominic to Donovan.
No, from Donovan to Dominic.
Dominic. See, I can't even get straight shit.
Yeah, Dominic with a K. And my hour ended in the middle of that match. But I mean, I knew that was the predictable ending. It was the rubber match was going to be some sort of draw, but yeah, I give the win to AEW because I mean the way NXT is in this thinking 2 weeks ahead type of format where they'll announce a match for 2 weeks and then they'll announce a match for next week.
Well, actually, just when you thought about that, because the Dream got injured, and that's why the whole Keith Lee Dominic match went to a no contest, because it was supposed to have been Dream versus Roderick.
Yeah.
So,
but I hope Keith Lee gets his chance. Damn it, he deserves it. He's deserved it for a long time.
True, but it's going to be hard for him to win on his second match back.
On a criminal criminal basis. They have misused him. I can't even put it into words how crazy it is in my mind.
All right, so it's funny. Kaliko and Scooter feel like AEW won this week. Can
I at least tell you real quick my opinion? I didn't tell you. You didn't ask me.
No.
I agree with them.
Well, we know who you're going with, Mitch. You're going with AEW.
No. That's not true. That's not true at all. I want to root for NXT. Their first show is great. It's just the atmosphere of AEW's first show. You can't beat that, man. And I don't think they've had a show that NXT has had a show yet besides that first one that has even been able to stand up against AEW's. So
I mean, because like I said, it's different crowd. AEW did it right in the sense that they picked the 3 hottest cities to do their shows. Now the issue with me with AEW is when they go to like a Charleston, West Virginia,
I was just gonna say they're going
and
to
no one's
Charleston
gonna fly to Charleston, West Virginia.
And then they're
Wichita,
going to
Kansas.
Indianapolis.
Yeah, I mean, Indy got an airport. Any city without an airport.
Oh, that's like
when they go into Mobile, Alabama, then we'll see how it rolls.
To hang your hat
Imagine being whisked away to magical West Virginia. Hi, I'm
Oh,
in West Virginia.
In
So,
the mountains. Ugh.
I actually gave this week to NXT, in my opinion,
They probably have
because
stupidity in the air. Sorry.
What?
their show made more sense to me. And the biggest reason I didn't go with AEW this week, Marco fucking Stunt.
Okay, Marco Stunt was not
He
added
has
to
his
that
place.
show. He was not added to that show until 2 hours before it went on
Thank
the
you. Oh,
air.
yeah.
Yeah, he replaced
It was supposed to be
Luchasaurus.
Luchasaurus.
Okay, well, you know what, let's talk about it now. Yeah, okay, I get that.
Well, let's talk about it tomorrow.
And it's fine that they put him in the match, but to go 15 minutes with the Lucha Bros, are you fucking kidding me? I mean,
You gotta, dude. You gotta. They
That was
have.
an awesome
They have
match.
time to fill,
this should have been
and they had to.
an 8
They
to
had
9
to
minute
adjust on the
squash
run.
match at best.
They had to adjust on the run, though.
Yeah,
It was an incredible match.
It was a good match.
Yeah, I
don't
will say
care.
this: the tag team
I have a
division
special
is way
place in my
better.
heart for undersized underdogs. So yeah, it might look weird, but he has his place in it. I'm gonna give him a chance.
They need to do a program where Marco Stunt has a crush on Riho.
you know, I would get behind him, but in my opinion, there's nothing to get behind. He looks like a baby Gene Simmons.
I know, but like I said, he's like a Santino. He's a niche character for like a specific spot. He's not going to be a world champion. I think he knows that.
Then why did he go 15 minutes with the Lucha
He fits
Bros?
a quota. He fits the quota.
Well, the one gimmick I've always loved, and okay, maybe I'm a little bit biased, is Mikey Whipwreck's original gimmick.
Oh God, yes. I tailored myself after him when I started.
I'm gonna say this right now: if Grado can win the ICW championship, anything can happen.
Yep. As you guys know, Mikey Whipwreck was my mentor, and you know, I always wanted to do that. You know, that underdog who thinks he's never gonna win.
Yeah, I always wanted to meet him.
And you know, and like before, like every match, he thinks, "Oh God, I'm gonna die."
Yep.
And
you know,
that was both of us.
That's Marco Stunt.
That was both of us, and that's why that's why we gravitate to that. Like I have a special place in my heart for that. Like I said.
Okay, so I get what you're getting about Mikey Whipwreck. I got tongue twister here. But you know,
he's just the one example of like the undersized underdog.
Yeah, the tiny guy that could be successful. You know, if given a chance. You know, he doesn't even have to essentially even be considered. You know, in the running for a championship.
Exactly.
Mikey Whipwreck won the title by accident.
Yep.
What I'm trying to say is Marco Stunt isn't built that way. If they would have had this match, the Lucha Bros beat the living crap out of him through the whole match. Marco Stunt make the hot tag to Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy tag back into Marco Stunt, and Marco Stunt lose. That would have been fine. That I would have got that. But Marco Stunt actually had a near pinfall against Pentagon Jr. And that's something that should have not happened in that match.
Why not?
Because this guy has had death matches with Sami Callihan and won. And then you have this little, not even midget-sized guy, and he's getting near pinfalls on you, and he's doing moves on you, and he's hurting you. I don't think it's realistic, honestly.
But did he ever get a pinfall? No. It brings it's a near fall, but it's not a pinfall, and it brings everyone up while still giving the team who should have it. But it was a good match.
When does realism matter in the actual match?
Right. I agree with you tenfold, Scooter.
The only time realism needs to matter is in storytelling.
Story,
And even
yeah,
then,
yep. I was just gonna say.
and even then, it's not it. It's it's if you ask me, Marco Stunt told a story in the ring.
I'm sorry, but I disagree with you.
He's
I
right.
totally
No, but I
disagree.
didn't like Marco Stunt at first until I saw him and learned about his story, and then I started going, "Oh, okay, wait a second. He's got a story here that I can be familiar with."
Then
So
by that logic, you should hate anything Rey Mysterio does.
exactly.
The difference between that is Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio's been pushed by a machine. Is that?
And the Mysterio has been in the business for 20-something years.
Well,
And Rey Mysterio got lawn darted by Kevin Nash onto a trailer.
well, Rey Mysterio is a different case because he's a luchador. He has a gimmick that.
How is that
Oh my
different?
God!
How is that different?
You're grasping at straws here.
I think so too.
I don't
I mean,
think
if
that-
Daniel
I
Bryan
got it.
could make it,
Yeah.
if Daniel Bryan could make it,
You got this,
Marco
Scooter.
Stunt can make it.
Like this is you're showcasing inherent bias to such a degree here. It's like you're basically saying I don't like Marco Stunt because he's Marco Stunt.
I guess.
I think it's the basketball thing. You know, it's like Spud Webb trying to play Yao Ming in basketball.
Or Muggsy Bogues trying to play Yao Ming.
I suppose
Exactly. I think that's.
I suppose we're not going to agree on this, so we're going to move on. We'll talk, since we're already on the topic of AEW, we'll start with the show. The Lucha Bros came out and attacked SCU as they made their entrance, and that set up the match with Best Friends, where Scorpio Sky took Christopher Daniels' place, and he won the match with no shoes. Which is actually a
Scorpio
pretty good
Sky
match.
got everyone's attention that night who didn't know him. He stole a show.
Yeah, I like Scorpio Sky. When they drew the
But
suit
I'm just
back
saying,
at
he
him,
put on one like the stuff he did on it, like he literally stole the show. Like there's still highlights being shown of what he did in that match.
The only thing that got me with this match is because for like the last couple months, haven't they been treating them as heels?
No, kind of like
Or tweeners at best.
Yeah,
Tweeners
but
at best.
more face leaning tweeners that kind of, but they kind of like do the, like they joke about kayfabe things, like kind of throwing hints, like the fourth wall kind of stuff.
could we just get it? Could we just get SCU out of the first match on the card? I mean, like every single show they've been the first match.
That's because they're dependable. They're like the closing pitcher.
I guess that's why they're in that spot.
Because they need to make sure that Kaz is away from me for the longest period of time.
You ain't Cass.
All right.
And when you said you like something about his wife, you're talking about Tracy Brooks, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that they were still together or not. Didn't know.
I don't even know if they are, but
even though he still won't forgive Scooter. Alright, next match. Santana and Ortiz defeated John Silver and Alex Reynolds. What's your favorite fruit, Kaliko?
wait,
Apples.
my boys,
Squash.
my boys were on the show.
The Beaver Boys.
Alex Reynolds and John Silver were two I trained with.
The Beaver Boys, right?
Yep, the Beaver Boys.
They were on WWE too. They were on both.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like you know like everybody in the business at this point, Scooter.
Well, no,
He knows East Coast, I know West Coast.
I've road tripped with Alex Reynolds.
So, close buddies.
Oh, I think I've seen him wrestle before. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
You know, he was enhancement talent on the original the 2006 run of ECW where he lost to Vance Archer.
Vance Archer, not
That's going
Lance
back.
Archer.
Oh, so he was like he was back when we were training and shit. Okay, wow.
Yeah, Alex Reynolds is one of the primary people that trained me. John Silver, who's basically I got my first practice win ever over him.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
So after the match, Jericho came on the Tron and challenged the Bucks to a match on behalf of Santana and Ortiz. Kind of hard to understand what he was saying because Ortiz was screaming the best over and over and over again.
Yeah, sometimes that crowd and that atmosphere gets your endorphins going to where when you're performing especially to where you just start yelling and it would come off as crazy in any other setting.
By the way, I posted that the match with the Tracy Brooks incident in the chat.
Okay.
Alright, next up, video package for Cody on his match against Chris Jericho. This was the highlight for me. I thought this was really good.
Yeah, they actually made you want to know the man and root for the band rather than the character. So emotional investment. That's good.
By the way, I think you showed me this a while back, but yeah.
Yes, but no, you gotta see what Tracy Brooks does to me.
Do we want to see what Tracy Brooks does to you?
It's at 150 something to
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I saw it.
All right. Next match. Riho defeated Dr. Britt Baker to retain the title.
That I did not like. Did not approve.
I thought they were. I wanted them to give Britt Baker the title and just put this in their back mirror, but and I'm pretty sure, unfortunately for us, Kenny Omega is pretty much 100% in charge, maybe a little bit with Brandy, for the women's division, and if he's in charge, he's gonna have Rio on top.
I mean, but to me, it's that women's division is heavily lacking in NXT, especially considering the NXT just signed Scarlett Bordeaux, and I forgot the other girl's name.
Shotzi Blackheart.
Blackheart, yeah. So is going to be the next big thing, in my opinion.
Right. So she they're amazing,
and she's so
not
hot.
only are they taking the girls off the market, they're building it at the expense of ROH not having a division. And to me, that's the low point of AEW right now. It's their women's division.
I mean, it's been 3 weeks, and all 3 weeks Riho has had a match. I mean,
man, it's been 8 months in the women's division has been shit.
Alright, next match, AEW Tag Tournament match, Lucha Bros defeated Jurassic Express. We've covered that already.
We just covered that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going through my notes.
Nope. Sorry, no problem.
Kenny Omega and Hangman Page defeated Pac and Moxley. This was the other thing that kind of didn't make sense to me. Because, when you have your 4 biggest guys in the company, why wouldn't you end it in disqualification?
Because they needed Omega to get a win. He was winless.
Well, Hangman Page got the win against Pac.
But he gets the W because he was on the winning team.
True.
But I think to me, it was just to push the Hangman Pac story.
I honestly think it was to get him off the unwinning streak. The non-winning, inability to win.
There you go. You got that.
His losing streak.
Yeah. You said it.
I saw it differently though, because I thought it was just to push the Pac Hangman, so that way it wouldn't be decisive. Because we already knew Mox and Omega wasn't gonna really neither of them were gonna take the pin. It's surprising that Pac even took the pin. So 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 just for the fact that they continued that feud is a shock to me.
Yeah, Mox hit Pac with the Dirty Deeds and then left the match, leaving Pac to get pinned by Hangman Page.
Excuse me, paradigm shift.
Paradigm shift.
Yeah, he's right.
It's had 15 names at this point. It was Dead Rider and
Dirty D's, Paradigm Shift, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Different companies, they trademark difference.
I don't get why they're pushing Pac to the moon. He's had.
You don't get why they're
matches.
pushing one of the best wrestlers in the world? What? He's one of the best in the world. He deserves it.
I would say that they're not pushing him because he had the 2 best wins in that company.
He's undefeated.
Period.
He's eventually gonna get a title shot. If he doesn't, it'll be absolute highway robbery.
That's my point. He can make the argument he's got the 2 best wins in that company since its inception, and yet Cody has the title shot.
He lost. But he got an L in that match with the tag match. He just got an L.
Yeah, but the L in the tag, if wins and losses matter,
but an L's an L. I'm just saying.
But my point is this: if the wins and losses matter, that his 2 wins are more it's almost like college football. His wins were quality. His quality wins are way better than anyone else.
I told you that I thought he should have gotten the title match before Cody.
Title shot. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But that's the only thing that it got me with.
Then why
but nepotism? So.
If he wasn't going,
the damn thing, he runs it.
If he has a major winning streak and he has 2 of the biggest wins in the whole company at this point, why have him lose a tag match? Can anybody answer that for me?
I would say probably the enemy of an enemy is my friend type match, but I still didn't get why Hangman would team with Omega in the first place, or even Moxley would team with Pac in the first place.
Because, like you said, the enemy, you said it perfectly. The enemy of the enemy is my friend. Yeah. And so it's basically that's what it is.
Well, anyway, next week on
I think Scooter was trying to say.
Yeah, it's the idea of I may you might piss me off, the rest of the time, but there's mutual respect there, and so I'll put my hate for you aside.
Right.
It's one of the most common stories told.
Very much so.
And can I just say, when the barbed wire bat and broom came out, that should have been disqualification right there.
Yes, I said that too.
Yeah.
So apparently, no matches in AEW had non-disqualification.
Yeah. But apparently that barbed wire was not gimmicked.
Oh yeah, I saw that when.
That doesn't surprise me with Moxley. He likes to do things the hard way.
Because Pac ripped open his hand.
And Pac, I've heard, yeah.
When he grabbed it, I was like, ooh, he grabbed it right on the barbed wire.
And we were wondering where the blood was coming from.
Yeah.
That's right, because I was like, is he hurt? And I couldn't tell, but I was like, it was obvious something was up.
Yeah, when he grabbed the broom and the bat from Omega and Moxley, he grabbed it on the barbed wire. I don't know if he knew if it was gimmicked or not, but he grabbed
when you're going like that with all that adrenaline, I'm sure you don't have time to look down calmly at what you're grabbing. So.
Yeah, true. And he probably was like, forgot them gloves at the crib, fam.
Anyway, Pac versus Moxley announced for next week on AEW TV.
That's going to be interesting how that match goes, because I mean,
that's a match that I would wait for pay-per-view to watch that match. It should be a pay-per-view match.
It should.
I mean, that's the thing. It's in Pittsburgh, and they gotta try to get people to come to Pittsburgh. Because
I was just gonna say they really want to make a push in Pittsburgh. It's Britt Baker's hometown, and a few other people are big. Pittsburgh's big to them, so
they're doing something related to Pittsburgh with Britt Baker. Pittsburgh.
Britsburg, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing the Britsburg segment or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
And that brings us to our last match. Chris Jericho defeated Darby Allin to retain the AEW Championship in a street fight.
God, what Darby Allin can do with his hands friggin' behind his back.
Honestly, he should start wrestling with his hands behind his back because that's when he started winning the match.
I'm thinking, like, where's Nick Patrick?
I mean, considering his face paint is like the little the skull guys on the Karate Kid, he came with it.
I mean, no disrespect to Darby Allin, but I don't think anybody thought he was gonna win that match. But he had
absolutely not. He shouldn't have even won the match versus Jimmy Havoc.
That
was a crime, in my opinion. I am a huge Havoc mark, and I wanted him versus Jericho. I thought that would have been a great match, and it would have been more believable that he might have pulled off the upset. Darby Allin's a relative newcomer. So.
But the whole point is that to show that somebody like Darby Allin,
right? Exactly.
Could even get a title shot in the first place.
It's not like WWE where I didn't understand. Why the hell would you do that? I got it.
They could come out of nowhere and just change everything. Change everything by winning the title because we would have ended up getting Kobe versus Darby Allin at a Full Gear. So.
Hey, if Jinder can win a title, why can't Darby Allin?
And I mean, he went 30 minutes with Cody, so they are pushing him to some extent. Even though
I just think it might be a little too soon with him. He's so young, and there's so many other people who deserve a push to that extent, in my opinion, that deserve it more. But I see why they did it. I get why they did it. The whole like with Nyla Rose, like there's Sunny Kiss. They're trying. AEW is for everyone, as Cody says. So yeah,
I think it's the rub, just to give him the rub, so he could do more. So that's what I think.
And I'd just like to say, Darby Allin, relatively small guy. I like him. All right, let's talk.
But don't like.
Yeah, his wrestling style reminds me that him and Marco Stunt both remind me of the style I had to do. So.
I mean, he did good for an extra from The Purge. So.
All right, now we are talking about NXT of the Monday Night War. The one thing that I wanted to say ending on AEW. The ratings went down 0.4%, so not a major drop, but still a drop.
Wait, 0.4% or 0.4 points?
Zero, yeah, I was going to say it was different.
Yeah, 0.4 points. I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
But to me, that's a bigger issue all across wrestling, because that tells me that NXT, that tells me neither NXT nor AEW are growing a fan base. They're just basically fighting. They're fighting over the same people that they got.
So many people came out on the first night to check it out because of all the buzz, and now the people who are gonna stick around, it's basically leveled out. The ratings have leveled out, so I think it's gonna stay around this level until they make like a big push. And change something up. It depends on their storylines going forward.
Until they get that Kenny Omega Okada match.
Or another big acquisition, yeah. And there's a lot of people's contracts coming up in 2020, so you never know.
Right. Alright, so on to NXT. Tommaso Ciampa defeated Angel Garza. Ciampa got cheers, which is odd in NXT.
I mean, it's not odd considering he's coming back. Like, when you come back from an injury, you're always going to be the face,
Well, not always. Sometimes you can be like the bitter-fueled person who had everything ripped away from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
but that
considering-
really wasn't Ciampa's case. Ciampa's case was more of a medical thing.
I'm just saying, you don't always have to like. You don't. It's not a stereotype that you always have to come back.
I mean, honestly, they fucked up Seth Rollins by not having him come back as a face. So, I mean,
it's
it
not.
changed.
I don't know.
I'm happy to see you pop. It's just considering that these people were chanting, were saying he's the devil like 6 months ago, and now, oh yay, he's an angel.
I think it's because if you remember, he helped Gargano win the title. You got to remember that was the lasting impression that they had of in Ciampa. That was the last impression that they had of Ciampa was with him, Candice LeRae, and Gargano. And Gargano's holding up the title, so they had something to cheer for.
No, it wasn't.
And they did a special on WWE Network too.
No, it wasn't that Ciampa helped him win the title. It was the fact that Ciampa came out to congratulate him.
Right,
Yeah.
it was just a nice, like, big hug at the top of the round.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Nostalgic.
Alright, next segment, Undisputed Era came out and gave Ronaldo a USB drive. Interesting way to get their video across. When we come back from the break, they play it and they show that they beat up Velveteen Dream in the back, which is bullshit because I'm saying the Four Horsewomen did it because Roger Strong married to one of them and they could actually beat somebody up.
No,
I don't. Ronda Rousey will never be affiliated with NXT if she ever comes back. If she ever comes back, she'll be WWE.
No, somebody roofied Dream.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute, who roofied Prince?
Apollonia.
We're not gonna beat that. Imperium. Fabian Eichner, Marcel Partel with Alexander Wolf defeated Danny Burch and Arnie Lawkin.
Ball Germans are one of them.
Danny Burch and the Carolina Panther.
Yeah.
Io Shirai defeated Ember Moon cosplayer Kaden Carter.
I mean, Io's the star. She's the star villain.
Or as I call Kaden Carter, the unknown daughter of Rihanna and Jay-Z.
And yeah, I agree with the Coleco. I'm a huge fan of Io Shirai's new gimmick and her new theme music and entrance, except for people who are prone to seizures. That's not cool because of the flashing and everything. But aside from that, it looks cool.
You just love Io. You have a crush on her.
I do not. Okay, honestly, I did not. But like before,
you love her.
Before I saw her or knew about her and saw her wrestle Kairi Sane in Stardom,
you want to be Mr.
Didn't hear me out. Stop cutting me up. I did not like any. Well, I didn't really like Asian women. She's different, dude. I don't know what it is.
All right. Well, okay. So Io got the mic and challenged for Shayna Baszler's championship. She said Rhea, but I thought she said real. And then Rhea actually understood what she said because she read the script. And came out and told her, never say my name and I won't kill you. And that will set up Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair next week.
Something tells me they're going to set it up to a triple threat to see who's going to fight Shayna.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to say that too.
Boa said some stuff in Chinese, possibly Mandarin. I'm only learning Japanese at the moment.
Mandarin is... Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I think you said Chinese. I was going to say Mandarin is Chinese.
Yeah. William
And that's
Regal...
one Boa.
What?
I was about to say that was one Boa you don't want to constrict.
William Regal stated that the Velveteen Dream would not be able to fight Roderick Strong next week, and that the winner of Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic would determined the new #1 contender. The match ended in no contest when Strong came out and cost both men the match.
Yeah, to stack the odds against Strong. I mean, give him that chicken shit heel persona.
Right. Lee and Dominic are 1-1 and 2 at their records right now. 1 win apiece, a countout, and a disqualification. So they've done all types of different finishes.
Yeah, because you don't want to hurt Keith Lee on his coming back. You want to make him look formidable. So
Formidable.
yeah,
He's a superstar. You need to let him. You need to let him fly. Let him spread his wings. Damn it.
he's a peacock. You gotta let him fly.
He got to let him fly.
Are you saying that Keith Lee is the rare dodo bird? He needs to fly.
Yeah, he's the theropod. He's the thoroughbred. I'm a peacock, Captain. You gotta let me fly on this one.
Alright, Matt Riddle defeated Brenson Reed. What's your favorite fruit?
Squash is still a vegetable.
It's a fruit!
We are never
I will
going
die. I will die saying it's a vegetable.
Just do the
Yes,
damn
well-
gimmick, Kaliko, damn it.
Squash. It's a vegetable. Squash.
Alright, Kushida announced that he is injured with a hairline fracture on his wrist.
Think he's gonna be out for a month?
I mean, honestly, we finally
think
got to see Kushida on WWE TV, and 2 matches in he gets injured.
Shit happens. It's not gonna be for long. It's gonna be a month, and there's so many people in NXT. It'll give an opening for at least a month for someone else. So I think it's okay. He'll come back in a month.
That's what happens when you fucking with Walter.
Exactly. Exactly.
True.
Preach, brother, preach.
Alright, Tegan Knox defeated Tanara Conti. Nobody
Tegan
saw-
Knox.
Tanya Conti.
Tainara.
She's a glorified jobber, bro. She looks like Shakira, and she's a huge jobber, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Shakira
Black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so she's a badass.
Shakira,
Scuff
Shakira
Shakira.
O'Neal.
Scuff
No,
Shakira.
Shakira O'Neal.
Shakira O'Neal, there you go. Okay, Dakota Kai came out to congratulate her. Then three of the 4 horsewomen came out and talked trash to her. So Shayna Baszler has 15 women that want to challenge her for the championship, and she's coming out to talk trash to Tegan Knox and Dakota Kai.
And I know why. It's a callback. Because if you remember, before they jumped on the network, Dakota Kai was getting scared. This is why I always thought Dakota Kai might have been the one to beat Shayna Baszler, because it's a callback to someone who basically put fear in her, and it got to the point where Dakota Kai got injured, and now it's a bullying thing where she finally gets the strength to fight her bully and win the title. You see what I'm saying? So I see where they're going with it.
I got you.
That was my gimmick.
That was my life.
That was supposed to be my gimmick in the NYWC.
With
they're
Frankie
coming up
Kazarian?
You're being for real here?
I'm being for real. I was supposed to lead a group of rookies who were being bullied.
So basically, like the nerd version of Nexus.
I wouldn't say the nerd version of
I'm
Nexus.
joking.
Revenge of the Nerds would be better. That would be a better title for it. Revenge of the Nerds.
I'm joking. You know I love you, Scooter.
Killian Dane. I think Scooter's mad at us now.
No, just
he's
Mitch.
not a snowflake.
Just Mitch.
Well, everybody's
Yeah,
mad
I
at
just said you weren't a snowflake.
I'm kidding now.
So Killian Dane defeated Boa. What's new? Bianca versus Ripley next week. I just said that. When Dane was coming back from the match, Pete Dunne was coming out and broke Dane's fingers. And the only reason Dane didn't kill done was referees held them back. So that's setting up something.
Yeah.
And then Damian Priest defeated Pete Dunne. That's a interesting thing to happen.
Damn.
I mean, they had to give him something because you remember when everybody was giving them shit for having Damian Priest punishment Martinez lose his first match, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, no." So this is a credible win to get him on a run.
Right?
No, Mitch, I'm not mad at you.
Okay.
I love how we can squabble our differences between Twitter and.
I know, right? It's great.
So basically on this show, Kaliko and Scooter had a falling out and then a reunion. Mitch and Scooter had a reunion and then a falling out, and then they stayed with the falling out.
We need the comic. We need the podcast equivalent of being trapped in an elevator on a sitcom.
We did? This is news to me.
Alright, and that completes our coverage of NXT and the Wednesday Night Wars. Next week we'll talk about whatever else happens in wrestling. But until then, you can find all of us on Twitter. I am at JamesJ993. Kaliko.
I am Kaliko, and I got 2 hits. I'm just saying, if someone can find me a picture of Jushin Thunder Liger and Red Shoes together. Come on. Also, Mauro Ranallo's greatest hip hop references. I'm still on those.
Mitch Mayhem.
My Twitter, right? Sorry.
Yes.
No, your address and social security number.
526. No, you can find me at Mitch.
I already have that.
What?
I already have your social security number.
Oh, good, awesome.
Yeah.
Now that we're all caught up and everyone has all my info. You can catch me at Mitch Mayhem X on Twitter.
And Scooter.
And by the way, Mitch's zip code is 97546.
You dick.
You can find me at Scooter Dust and at the UNB Wrestling Twitter WWE on UNB. Use the hashtags I dare you Graves and hashtag Holy Grail Ponytail.
Alright. And if you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, comment. Watch us every week on YouTube and Castbox. For our co-hosts, Kaliko Yachts, Mitch Mayhem, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling With. Entertainment, motherfucker!
Pizza diarrhea.
I need a beer, damn it.